Huge thanks to Gamdias for sending over this case and letting me put together just a basic gaming rig for my bedroom. This thing looks great. And yes, I can turn off the RGB rainbow puke, but that's just where it is for right now because I'm kind of enjoying it. Hey guys, I've got a Discord now. Actually, I've got two of them. One of them's public, one of them's private. If you'd like to join the public Discord, jump down to the first link in the description down below. If, though, you'd like to join the private Discord, head over to my Patreon where you can become a patron there and gain access to the private Discord. Either way you decide to go, this is one of the most requested things from my viewers, is to have a Discord to where we can build a community. So definitely check out either of those links and we'll see you there. Hey guys, this is my first official PC case review, and unfortunately, as luck would have it, it kind of looks that way. I lost most of the footage of me actually building anything. I've got some video clips of me putting the screws in for the motherboard, but everything else is just gone somehow, so there's that. But if you stick around throughout the rest of the video, I'll talk about what it was like to build in it, so the things I like about it, the shortcomings that I had of just missing some parts, not from Gamdias, but on my end. So there were some difficulties that I ran into, but I was able to overcome most of those pretty easily. And just right off the bat here, I want to say thanks to Gamdias for sending me this case. I will try to find a link to it online and put it in the description down below so you can pick one of these up. I do really think this is a cool case. The way it looks, the way it works, that sort of thing is very, very cool. So thanks to Gamdias for sending this over to me. I really do appreciate it. So the rest of this video is going to be very vlog style. I recorded basically everything else on my cell phone, so it's going to kind of change tones a little bit as far as that's concerned. So definitely check out the rest of the video, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. Alright guys, so I reached out to Gamdias the other day to see if they'd be willing to send me a new PC case for a project that I'm getting ready to work on, and they sent me this. I know it looks wrong now because there's no side panel on it. There's actually two glass side panels that are in a separate container or in a separate box that are protected that way, but I wanted to get a first look at this. I love this is glass. The front of the case here is glass. There's of course the plastic here to take off. Like there's a bunch of space up here. Like this is my finger in there. There's a lot of space here. There's no restricted airflow. Of course, this will be exhaust. But on the front, there's kind of something similar here where there's a big gap, like probably more than an inch here. This looks really, really good. I think what I'm going to do is actually move these fans to the inside so that I can take this case filter that's magnetic out and put it on the front for bringing air in that's filtered and not, or dust filtered, so I don't have to worry about that. They did a great job here of having lots of room for a radiator if you wanted to mount one here. Of course, it looks like you could do something possibly as large as 420. These are all 120, but it's got the rails here. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it's just going to be 360. I'm looking up here. I don't see the extra rails up on this one. So 360 or 280, which I think is still great cutout here. Lots of cutout holes here. This actually feels really good. Like I don't feel like these are going to wear out real quickly. You can mount your hard drives and SSDs up here. There's a spot for a hard drive down here. More cutouts. I love that there's dual cutouts here for this. That's really great. I'll cut out here so you can see the branding of your power supply there. And it's also got a vertical mount here if you wanted to do that. The case, to my knowledge, doesn't come with the vertical mount PCI Express riser card, but that's fine. I'm not going to be doing that in here anyway, but I just wanted to kind of get a first look at this so that you guys know what I'm working with as I do this new build. This build is going to go in our bedroom. So it's going to be kind of a low budget build, just old parts I've got laying around. So this is the very basic fan controller that came factory in the case here. And it's being held on with some sticky tape, it looks like. So that's going to get replaced with one of these anyway. These are additional fan controllers, more advanced units that are actually magnetic. so they just kind of stick on there. I really dig that. Like, well done on doing that with magnets instead of stickies or screws or whatever. Like, this is very cool. So I'm going to be taking this out and replacing it with this. Lots of cable tie points all over the place here. And a huge spot down here, hard drive cages right there. But everything here looks really, really good. And I'm super, super excited to get a chance to build in this case. Okay, so this is where some of that footage that I lost would have gone. Sorry about that. All right, guys, so it occurs to me that I haven't even bothered to tell you what I'm building here. So this is actually kind of a combination of old systems that my wife and I had prior to us upgrading our new systems. So we've got an Asus M5A97 R2 motherboard, and we're gonna have a AMD FX 8350 going in there. We've got 16 gigs of Corsair Vengeance, I think. Yeah, Corsair Vengeance RAM running at, I think, 1666. This is what we've been gaming on forever, so we know that we can play some of our favorite games at decent levels, and of course retro stuff and things like that. But then to go along with all of that, kind of keeping it old school with the FX series, we're going to be putting this guy in there. This is a GTX 770 2 gigabyte card. So that's going to be powering that. I need to dust that. But that's going to be powering our graphics, again, for the games like Fallout and those types of games. This is what we're going to use to power this. It's just an extra setup in our bedroom. Here would be another spot where some of that footage would have gone, and I lost it. Sorry. Okay, guys, so here it is all assembled. I actually shot this once, and then I realized I just wasn't happy with how some of the wiring was done. I'm actually on the back side over here, and we'll cover that here in a minute. But it's probably kind of hard to see. Let's see if I can turn down the lights over here. Oops. There we go. So, I'm actually installing some software there. That's the noise you're hearing. I've got this top light working. The new fan controllers that I installed actually don't have support for this part of the light that's built into the front. I don't know why they didn't have a 3-pin connector. They've just got a couple of 4 pins. Man, I wish that would hurry up. Let's let's mute that. There we go. Now it's muted. So we've got these lights working in tandem with, all of the other fans and everything. They all work together in sequence now, starting at the bottom, going up, and then over, and then to the back. I actually ended up using both of those fan controllers I showed earlier, and then using a link cable to make them talk to each other. So that's what's going on there. That all works. Unfortunately, this strip down the side does not work. A little unfortunate, but whatever. It's okay. Everything else works really, really well. So let's go ahead and open this up. And there we go. It's just got some magnetic, or it's got some metal here. Let me get that light turned back on so maybe we can see again. There we go. So anyway, there's some metal strips here that you might be able to kind of see. And then if we come over to here, there's some magnets, and that actually holds this closed. There we go. So now it looks good. So I like that they've got that magnetic thing going on there. If we open this up, you can see that I've got the cooler installed. So basically what happened is I got all of this put together and then realized that I either lost footage or didn't ever actually press record as I was doing stuff like installing the cooler on the front and installing the graphics card, that sort of thing. So that was kind of unfortunate. So I didn't have any of that footage, but you can see everything here looks really good, really clean. Now the one thing I will say though, because of how much space is available on the back, I had to run these through what would be the radiator slot here, just because with how thick the 24 pin and the USB 3 cable are, there just wasn't enough room in the back. So let's spin this around a little bit here. So basically the way this is split up, because of this separator bar here, and I know this is for structural integrity, I was running into an issue where I just didn't have enough space to run both of those from down here up and over and in. So I ran them under, went through the radiator slot there and up and around. I don't think it detracts too much. And plus it allows me to actually close that the way it should be closed there. So that all worked out pretty well, all things considered. You'll notice here, I actually didn't have enough SATA plugs on this chain here to plug in both of the controllers. So I made my own little connection here and soldered everything, individually wrapped each of the wires in heat shrink, and then split them off and did a heat shrink around them again. And then, like you can see here, even went so far as to zip tie them into place so I don't worry about anything shorting out or coming loose or anything like that. So other than this little snafu down here, with not having quite enough room for both of those cables, there's actually a fairly decent amount, probably half an inch or so, back here for the tray. So a decent amount of space down there. There was a hard drive tray down here. I took that out so I'd have more room to kind of cram some cables down there. And of course, like you can see, I've got an SSD and a hard drive stuff down there as well. Again, mostly because of the limitations I had on this SATA plug, and I couldn't find any other plugs that would work with this power supply. I don't know if I threw them away or something, but made the best of a bad situation here with all of that considered. So let's go ahead and close that. The other thing is I have both of the fan controllers over here, but with it pressed up against this dresser. I hate this dresser, but it was pressed up against here. And even with having the controller up here, I couldn't use this remote without moving the whole case over, changing what I wanted to change, move it back. It was just a real pain. So I ended up kind of finagling it in up into an empty spot up in here. You can't even see it through the glass, but I can change it just by pointing. There we go. Just by pointing everything, or just pointing at the front of the case there. So that ended up working out pretty well. You can see I've got some fingerprints up here. I've been messing around with this quite a bit today, but that's pretty much it. Really, if it wasn't for the shortcomings on my end, definitely 10 out of 10 to build in. Again, I love these cutouts and all of the space that's in here. That's probably 1.5 inches or 2 inches of space. So there's no restricted airflow there. I really, really do dig that. Again, like I showed earlier, same thing up here. There's just a ton, again, another 1.5 inches or 2 inches up here of unrestricted airflow. And of course, I took the mesh out of the top and I put it in the front, like you can see here, just because I think the airflow coming up will keep any dust from settling in there. So overall, really, really happy. Okay, so now let's talk about thermals and noise and things like that with this case. One thing I can say is that I've got the fans turned all the way down. I can actually control that again with the controller here. With the fans turned all the way down, I can barely hear it, and I'm standing two feet away, and I've got to really kind of focus on it in order to hear it. And normally we've got an AC unit running in the window, so that will definitely overpower this, even when this is turned all of the way up. So as far as that's concerned, really impressed with how quiet these fans actually are. And to go along with that, it is currently about 23 degrees Celsius here in this room. And if you take a look up here, you can see that my CPU is running at about 36 and the motherboard's about 31. Again, I've got these fans turned all of the way down. So let's see if we can get anything to change there by turning these up. I'm not sure if you can hear the difference in there. I can kind of hear it a little bit better now. So with the fans turned all the way up, and even after waiting for a couple of minutes here, I don't even know if you can hear those, even with them turned all of the way up. But we've been sitting here for a minute or two anyway. These numbers haven't changed at all. So So having the fans cranked up, I don't think is going to have any impact other than creating some unnecessary noise. Even at 36 degrees C, I'm pretty happy with that. Overall, this case looks great. The unrestricted airflow is great. The noise level output on it is really minimal. So overall, I'm really, really happy with this case. All right, guys, so there you go. There's my first case review. Again, I want to thank Gamdias for sending this over and giving me a chance to build what will effectively be my retro gaming station for the bedroom, so we can, play some of the old school classics from like Nintendo and Super Nintendo, things like that. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's a kind of a departure from what I normally do here, but I think that's kind of part of growing a channel, is trying out new content and seeing how it goes. So if you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below letting me know you enjoyed it. That would really help me out a bunch. So I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here. As always, thanks for your time. I always appreciate your support, and I'll talk to you in the next video. What?